Good morning, Suidlanders. How are you? I'd like to talk to you briefly. I'm sorry about the light. I can see that it's very much off. But let's just carry on. I don't think it's going to kill anybody. I'd like to talk to you briefly about something that we've discussed on many occasions, but which bears mentioning again. You may remember that I once made a video in which I described how I worked in the live event industry for big concerts, and on a few occasions we would have big international artists and their teams at a meal, catered while they're rehearsing, setting up the sound and lighting systems, programming things, lining up the audio visual and so on, and we'd hear a little complaint about the fruit. And we used to say to them that they would complain in the spirit of, hey, we're in South Africa, gee, we expected more than this. I mean, you guys grow the fruit here, we see your fruit on the shelves in England or France or Germany or wherever. And we would explain to them that we export our best fruit, that they are accustomed to a certain standard of from South Africa, that we're unable to offer purchasing fruit in South Africa because our best has all gone overseas. Nevertheless, enjoy the meat, it's fantastic, whatever. We didn't get any complaints except on a few occasions, minor complaints of disappointment in the size and perfection of the fruit at the catered banquet. Excuse me. And now I'm going to read you a little story from News 24. This is very old, but it's all topical. Looks aren't everything. British supermarkets to stock misshapen fruit amid drought. And in fact, it's not a news24.com article as such, it's a Reuters article that News24 is republishing. 2 British supermarket chains will relax their shape and size guidelines for fruit and vegetables so that they can stock misshapen items. It will help farmers make up for any shortfalls in yields due to dry weather and low rainfall. The move will also help tackle food waste. 2 British supermarket chains will stock bent carrots and other misshapen fruit and vegetables on their shelves in an effort to support farmers hit by drought after a heat wave. Normally, such produce would not make the grade. But German-owned discounter Lidl and upmarket retailer Waitrose said they would relax size and shape guidelines for fruit, blah, blah, blah. They just echo the same things. Now, by now, you should know that the reason why there is a shortage of perfect fruit and vegetables in the UK as in elsewhere in Europe is not only because of the drought and the heat wave and this and that. Now there we go, that's a bit better. It's also because of global fertilizer shortages, the destruction of many fertilizer plants and the destructions of many food processing plants, which we've been seeing over the past 18 months or so, beginning roughly March 2021. And if you're unsure of this, there are many resources on the internet that you can go and do some research in and discover for yourself the phenomenal extent of the sudden eruption, because it is a sudden eruption, the phenomenal extent worldwide of the destruction of fertilizer plants, shortage of fertilizer because of the events in Ukraine and Russia, but they obviously came much later, and also some droughts and many events put together, not least the destruction of actual food processing plants, the burning down of them. And in the middle of last week, I contacted a friend of mine for some advice about this. And he and I happened to speak last year, December. He's a local crop farmer. And he told me in December or January that in November or December, so about, call it a month to 6 weeks prior, he had bought fertilizer for over 14,000 Rand a ton, whereas the year previously, for the same planting in the annual cycle, same time of the year, he'd paid 8,000 Rand a ton. So it had not quite doubled in 12 months. And I said to him when I saw him a few evenings ago, about five days ago, what is the state of affairs now? Is it still worsening, or has it corrected itself? Are we overreacting, those of us who believe that there's a global anthropogenic, that is to say man-made famine coming, or not? And he gave me some figures that were so difficult to believe that I'm not going to quote them in this video. I have no doubt that he's telling the absolute truth, but they are so mind-boggling that you can't help but pull a little bit back and say, oh, let's hear this from two sources before we start regurgitating it, before we start parroting it, before we become the echo chamber of these dramatic assertions. Let's tread with a little bit of caution. The point that I'm trying to make, ladies and gentlemen, is that this event that has been threatening for so long, by which I mean roughly 18 months, the first substantial reports of meaningful harm to these large facilities and shortages of reports of shortages of fertilizer began to come out quite sort of suddenly in March of 2021. So by 18 months, I don't know, or by a long time, I don't mean years and years, but 18 months has been long enough, given the sheer number of events that have taken place, and given the sheer drastic nature or radical nature of the increase in number. I put it to you, think very, very, very carefully about how we shall feed ourselves if there is a global famine. And if there is a famine in South Africa, how will we keep food secure? Suidlanders, there are a number of Suidlanders who have gotten into this business in a very serious, professional manner. Now, I don't want to suggest that this person whom I'm going to refer to you is the last word in fertilizer manufacturing worldwide. But it is one example of somebody who may be able to help you to ensure that you have good quality fertilizer. I'm talking about super quality fertilizer to grow plants in a time of need. And then I'm going to recommend something else to you. Sorry, I'm doing two things at once and I forgot to prepare this in advance. Bear with me. I've got it. There we go. Okay. So, if you're looking for very high quality, I want to say organic, but that might not be the right, the technically correct jargon in the industry. What jargon they use, I don't know. And I have in the past gotten myself into trouble for talking about organic beef when actually it was grass-fed, not organic. And I once got myself into a little bit of trouble for talking about something else along similar lines. I think I was talking about Karoo lamb, and technically, according to the laws of South Africa, lamb that comes from the Karoo is not necessarily Karoo lamb unless it has been certified as Karoo lamb by the Department of Agriculture, and it's eating literally, because the woman from the Department of Agriculture contacted me. She was very friendly, she was very helpful, she was very nice, lovely lady, and she corrected me, and she explained that in order to be certified Karoo lamb, the lamb may only have eaten, it has to have eaten 5 of 7 types of bossies, or something like that. Only 7 bossies, or maybe it's 8 or 10 or 12, but it's a small number of bossies qualify as proper Karoo bossies, and those bossies have to form 70% minimum, 70% or more of all of the food to which the lambs were ever exposed. So I tread carefully when we talk about these technical things. So this is Eco Analytics Living Microbial Seed Treatment. And the product is called Nemex. I'll read to you very briefly. Nemex is developed as a seed treatment with a variety of microbes and microelements. The use of Nemex not only helps your plants to germinate faster, but also helps to increase the root mass and average yield. And you can check this out. I'm actually going to put it on my WhatsApp groups. As you know, I have 3 WhatsApp groups. The one is for foreigners, the one is for Mr. Miller and his sort of inner circle, and the other is for leaders, senior leaders and Suidlanders. That's to say the executive committee, the Onderleiersraad, national department heads, provincial leaders, sector bevelvoerders, and I think that's it. So I'm going to put this there, and people can have a look for themselves. So if you want to buy Nemex products, by, as I understand it, Eco Analytics, if I'm getting it right here, you can phone Charmaine. Charmaine is a Suidlander. Her number is 063 850 6070. Now, similarly, if you would like organic seeds, although, again, and this company is called Organic Seeds, but they prefer, I don't know why they call themselves Organic Seeds, but they prefer to use another description for their product. They talk about heirloom seeds and open pollinated seed. This is a company that put together a special deal for Suidlanders members. We Suidlanders organization get no kickback, no commission, no nothing at all. Never have. And they put this together based upon the vicinity and the ecosystem, the climate, the soil type of the average of Suidlanders safe area, veilige gebied. In the old days it used to be known as the groenzone, for those of you who remember that. This guy's an expert. I happened to know him for years previous. I contacted him, I said, would you be willing to, what? He said, yeah, by all means. And he put together this combination of organic seeds specifically for Suidlanders. More specifically for Suidlanders, the physical area of Suidlanders National Emergency Plan, which stretches, and this is no secret, roughly from the N1 Colesberg, plus or minus, give or take, approximately, roughly, to Uppington and beyond, in a sort of a elliptical arc. The reason why I've made this video is not for the benefit of Charmaine or Mark of Organic Seeds. Oh, sorry, organicseed.co.za. Organic Seed, so there's just one S there, organicseed.co.za. And if you look that up, you get taken to a page where you can make an inquiry, and they'll answer you boom bang. They're very professional, very jacked up. They'll help you very quickly. Otherwise, if you're interested in looking for yourself at what they offer, scroll down. If you go to the home page, organicseed.co.za, on the left hand side there's a long strip panel that says product categories. Scroll down almost to the bottom. The second to last item is value packs. And there are two value packs there. The Family Survival Seed Pack could otherwise be known as the Suidlanders Seed Pack. There 62 packets of over 50 varieties. It's thousands of seeds, blah, 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 blah. It's mylar with oxygen absorbers, the whole bang shoot. It'll last for 100 years. Enough said. Ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to reiterate this bitterly vital theme, because in the research that I'm doing, I'm seeing daily more and more reticent people who haven't charismatically or flamboyantly made extraordinary claims about this forthcoming famine in over the past year and a half, because they're reticent. They don't want to make waves. Now talking openly about global crises. We're hearing the World Food Programme talk like that. We're hearing the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations talk like that. We've heard the United Nations top dogs, not within Food and Agriculture or World Food, at the top of the United Nations pyramid itself. We're hearing experts all over the world say that there is a very, very, very big problem. And I caution you, ladies and gentlemen, that those articles, such as the one I read to you, the Reuters article on News 24, are now coming into mainstream media in a very gentle way. Oh, Waitrose is going to allow green peppers that are, a little bit, look a little bit ugly because of a drought. That is their way of slipping the stuff gently into our consciousness. It is now not far away, ladies and gentlemen. Please, please begin to make provision. Phone Charmaine, speak to Mark, get hold of these people, make inquiries, discover, learn how you can ensure that you are able to take care of yourself in the time that lies ahead of us. Because it promises to be, not because I say so, but because the mainstream, the elites, are now promising it. Thank you very much for watching this video. God bless you and keep you in the time that lies ahead of us. Bye-bye.